there, welcome back to my channel, Uniquely Reagan Handcrafted Cards. Today I'm going to make my craft roulette submission for episode number 271. And last week I said that last week was my 25th submission, but actually this is going to be my 25th submission. Somehow, I don't know, maybe I didn't get my submission entered. I don't know what happened. Technical glitch or something. But actually this is going to be my 25th submission. And the parameters for episode 271 were to make a project that is a matchbook card, use colors that are park colors that look like a park, use a key element or keys, and random curved and straight. So let me talk to you first about my matchbook card. I took a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and I cut it down to 4 1/4 by 11. And then I scored it at, if this piece were still on the end, I scored it at 1 inch and 5.5 inches. And then I cut 1 inch off the end. So really it was 4 1/4 by 10 inches before I scored it. So the card I'm going to do is going to have an opening at the top. You could do it at the bottom, you could do it on the side, either way. I'm going to have mine open from the top like this, and I'm going to use my tiny attacher by Tim Holtz to attach this. But first, I have taken some paper from a Stamps of Life paper pad called Happy Summer Collection. So my colors of my paper are going to be the park colors, like a sea life park. I do love anything marine biology. I like dolphins and anything to do with sea life. So I like these colors together, teal and pink. I've got a little bit of yellow here. And then, so those are my park colors. And then for curved and straight, I do have curved and straight inside this image here with the shell, but also in my next set of parameters, which were keys, I'm going to use a typewriter, which has typewriter keys on it. There's curved in the image here and straight. So there's lots of curves in this typewriter roller and the piece here that keeps the paper in place. And there's lots of straight lines as well in the keys. So we've got that parameter covered. And so I've cut my paper here into the dimensions that I need to cover my cardstock here. I cut this down to 3/4 inch by 4. And remember, my card width is 4 1/4. So let me glue this down here. Glue this in. This is a really easy card to come together. Just take a few minutes here. I had already had this image from the typewriter to stamp from Stamps of Life. I had some already stamped and colored up in my envelope where I keep the stamp die and the extra sentiments for this collection. I had some already stamped and colored, so that made it super easy. I have another piece of paper that is going to go on the next piece here. It's 4 inches by 4 1/4. This piece here is 4 1/2, so this is 4 1/4. So I'm going to glue that down. Let me glue this in. Then on the back side here, I have a couple of extra pieces of paper that are 4 inches wide, and so I'm going to adhere this down, but the first thing I want to do is close my flap for the piece here, and I want to do that before I attach here. So let me open this flap. I may need to trim just a smidge more off the edge there. Let me just close this flap, and I'm going to attach it right here. Just staple that closed with the tiny attacher. Let me see if I can get this closed. So no, I need to trim just a little bit more off. And Let me just take my bone folder and smooth this down a little. Using thinner paper on this kind of card is probably a good idea because it is being bent. There we go. I think that's okay. So you need a good 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch here to get that in and out of that opening. In fact, let me just trim this just a smidge more. Okay. All right. So now we can cover the back side here. Just cover up the edge of that staple so nobody hurts themselves, scratches themselves. And I'm going to create a pocket here just in case someone wanted to use this as a gift card holder. So I'm going to just glue 3 sides. And what I'm going to do here to make it obvious that it is a pocket, I'm going to just take this 1-inch hole punch and I'm just going to cut a little tiny sliver out of that so it looks like there's a thumb notch there. I did have some overlapping, so there we go. Let me find a gift card. There we go, slip that right in. Okay, so on the inside, I'm not going to really decorate much on the inside, but I do have a pattern piece of paper. Let me I think I'm going to glue it on this end because this side needs to stay flexible. I'm going to glue it up here and decorate this side. And I had a bit of extra piece that I cut off the edge of there. I'm going to just glue this here. It'll look like it's some trim. Okay, and then before I glue my sentiment on, I'm going to take the typewriter to stamp and I'm going to put on here, "You're my type of friend." In there. So there we go. And the back side will hold that gift card in that pocket. And then if you wanted to add a piece of ribbon to the top of that, you could certainly do that. But the top will open that way. There's some paper inside. Could decorate the top of that as well. And then write the message down here. So this was a really easy card to get together. And I certainly have hit all of those parameters for my I'm going to make sure today is the 25th submission for that Matchbook card. I've got my keys and the keyboard of the typewriter. Park colors, Sea Life Park is what I'm going with, and then curved and straight. So there we go. I've got curved and straight. They're all of the typewriter and in the shell. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching me put this together, and I had a great time. Come back and see me the next time I have a crafty video up. Please hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you again. Thank you.